Hello, everybody. Welcome to the MTG Place podcast. I am your host, Corey, and with me, like always, is James. How's it going, James?
Hey, doing good. How y'all doing?
Did you have a good Thanksgiving?
Yeah, it was really good. Got to see the family. Drove a whole 15 minutes, which is nice. That's close. Ate a bunch of food. Watched some football. So yeah, it was a good time. Did you do anything fun?
I went to Sioux Falls with meet the wife's family I hadn't met.
Mm-hmm.
Had
Cool.
dinner and stuff. That was fun.
Good stuff.
Today on the show, we're going to have a special guest, but before we reveal who that is and get into that, we're going to plug a few sponsors here. First one is Zencastr. It's an all-in-one podcast production suite that gives you studio-quality audio and video without needing all the technical know-how. It records each guest locally, then uploads the crystal-clear audio and video right into the suite so you have high-quality raw materials to work with. If you would like a 30% off discount code to try it yourself, it's zen.ai/the MTG Place. Again, that's zen.ai/the MTG Place. Our second way you can support us is we have a TCG Player affiliate link. It's in every episode's show notes. It's also on our website, mtgplace.net. You just click that link before you go over there to order any cards, and lets them know that we sent you, and it helps us out because we get a percentage kickback for doing so. And then lastly, the last way you can support us is directly on Patreon. Anyone who signs up between now and the end of the year is going to get a mailed signed card from us. We have different tier levels starting at $1. You get, priority access to our Discord. You can play some Magic games with us. You can do, pretty well, lots of cool stuff on there. You can get some merch on there as well. So for anyone who does that, we thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Support's great. And with the TCG ones, it's like, yeah, you're buying cards anyway. It's literally just a link that you throw in, so nice and easy. And with Zencastr, it's really, really perfect for especially what we're going to be doing today. Is we have multiple people on one recording, and in case someone might have a bad internet connection or something like that, your recording will still be good because it's all locally recorded.
Exactly.
So it's really good for something like this.
And then we're going to go into some Magic news now.
It's time for Magic News!
So first up in the Magic news is some arena announcements. We got the event schedule. We got Jump In. So they're going to bring back some Jumpstart stuff because the new Jumpstart set is coming out on Friday.
Awesome.
They're going to have some more Explorer stuff. They're going to have Brothers War draft. They're going to bring back some new Capenna drafts. There's Gladiator All Access is going on right now, which Gladiator is kind of like Commander, except for no Commander, so it's like 100-card singleton.
Right, yeah, it's a kind of weird one.
Yep.
Kind of Commander, kind of not.
The qualifier play-ins are December 3rd is sealed for Brothers War, and December 9th is also sealed for Brothers War. The Arena Open, December 17th, is actually going to be the Arena Cube draft.
Nice. Cubes are fun as hell, so hell yeah.
Yeah, the Cube is awesome, and the Cube is coming back from the 13th of December through the new year. So if you like playing Cube, which is my favorite drafting format, that will be on Arena as well. And then they announced some schedules for the next Magic Cons. There's going to be Philadelphia and then Minneapolis.
Hey!
They're coming here.
Love that. I mean, Minneapolis does have a really solid Magic community, so it's definitely not surprising, but really nice to see. And we don't have to travel for it, which is great. We just go downtown.
Yep. And that's it for the Magic news today. So now we're going to jump into our special guest. Everybody, we got a special guest with us today. It is Alper Markov from Concepts and Legends. How's it going?
It's going great. Thank you for having me.
Did you have a good Thanksgiving and everything?
Oh, it's terrible. No, I'm just kidding. It was great.
I had to deal with the family, you know.
It was low key. We decided we were just going to do paper plates, so there wasn't a lot of trash, but it was very, very nice.
Yeah, that's what we do too. We're like, oh, yeah, nobody wants to do cleanup, you know.
Oh, food coma time. It's like food coma. And I know you're supposed to watch the game, but we watch Kingpin, the movie Kingpin. It's like our family tradition.
Yeah, okay.
That sounds
It's a good
amazing.
movie.
It's a hysterical movie. Everybody, if you haven't seen Kingpin, see it. It's amazing.
So we're here. We're with Alper Markov. We got some interview type questions for you here. So, what's your history with Magic? When did you start playing and stuff?
I'm pretty new, actually. The last week of War of the Spark was when I officially started playing. It was Commander that had gotten me into it. So 2019 was when I started.
That is very fair. Commander is an amazing format. That's mainly what we play. I mean, we play, Legacy and some stuff sometimes too, but like it's so much harder to there's hardly any Legacy stuff anymore. Like the PTQs are all like modern or above, and it's just like because we're more old school. Like I think we started about the same time, right, Corey? When did you start?
7th edition.
Yeah, so yeah, we were the same time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
like
we're
2000 somewhere in there.
We're a little more old school.
So you were young when you started playing. So
Yeah,
I was 38 when I started playing.
I was in 6th grade.
Yeah, I was 8 years old. So.
Yeah, I started playing 30 years after you. So
yeah, I just remember our good friend Ben came over to my house one day with this big box, and it was like the big like starter box that like the starter 99 I think is what it was, and it's just like, oh yeah, it's this really cool game called Magic. You gotta try this out with me. And then it was just
yep. I had that too. It was the Wizardrix Trained Org decks.
Yeah,
7 mana 6/6s were
absolutely
the best card.
Terrible decks. But hey, we were young and we didn't care. It was fun,
I mean, in all fairness, I've run some pretty terrible decks myself, and there have been very good cards that have been available. I just I'm not like the best Magic player. I certainly am not a competitive. For a while I hit Mythic, on Arena, a few seasons, but I'm usually a Platinum Diamond kind of player.
I feel that.
One time though, this was pretty exciting. Because when you are on Arena and you get in your ranking, and then whoever's playing whoever, they'll put you with whoever's in your ranking. And when you're Mythic, it could be you're like number 2,900, I think I was, and they put me against number 3. And I was so terrified, but I won. Like whoever they were,
awesome.
Whoever they were, they had an extraordinarily bad luck. Like it was just like they got screwed. And when I won, I literally jumped out of my chair. I was like, yes! And
that sounds like me. I'm usually the one who has bad luck in Magic. It's a curse.
Oh my goodness! Yeah.
Everyone who knows me knows I have literally the worst luck possible.
Well, I think because I play a lot of drafts, I think at the end of drafts, when there's not as many players, they'll start pairing you up a lot. So like I was in like Platinum and got paired against a Mythic a couple times, and I'm like, okay.
That's the worst. And when they do that, it's you're kind of sat there thinking like, is there anybody else playing on the planet right now, or is this is it? Like you're gonna put me against somebody who's gonna like wipe the floor with me?
Exactly. So we kind of already answered this question since Commander's kind of your thing, but what formats do you like to play?
I play Standard, I know, but I don't have a local game store, so everything I do basically is on Arena. So I play Standard. I do play, a little bit of the one that we don't want to talk about. Don't want to say that word. I do play it. I play whatever they throw at me on Arena. I love the cubes, everything like that.
Cubes are the best on there. Also, when the cube comes out on Arena, I'm like draft.
Yeah, exactly. The ghost. I don't care that I don't get them. I mean, like they're so much fun to play. So I play everything. I don't. To this day, people have explained to me what Modern and Pauper, and I know Pauper, but Legacy, Vintage, I always forget which is which. and I can never seem to remember.
Vintage
So I don't.
is the oldest one.
Yeah,
And then Legacy is the one after that.
It's just a ban list versus everything's legal with the restricted to one copy list. That's the only difference.
Vintage is when you can play Black Lotus.
Yeah, you could play that. Yeah, Legacy Emrakul is a win con in like multiple decks.
Yep.
Emrakul, she's quite a lady, that Emrakul. But yeah, so I play. That's my hunting ground as far as Magic goes.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I was looking at your channel a little bit before this. You interview a lot of artists on there. Do you have a favorite artist?
Okay. So favorite artist is difficult for me because there's so many interactions that I've had, but I guess I could say one of the more rewarding relationships that I've formed with my interview subjects has been with Anson Maddox. We became very close, and I've interviewed him several times. Magali Villeneuve we had on a couple of times as well. She's just she's an angel. She's just one of the sweetest humans ever. She's just nice. They're both so talented. But I also represent a Magic artist, Greg Bobrowski, and he is up and coming. He debuted in the Infinity set. So
cool.
I mean, they're all really, honestly, they're all such wonderfully nice people. And outside of a couple of a-holes, most of them have been, wonderful. I mean, just honest to goodness.
Yeah, that's always really good to hear. I personally I think Magic is really special because of the art that's on the cards. There's not many games, especially ones that are really popular like Magic is, that have that. And I think it really kind of sets it apart from a lot of them.
I agree 100%.
I think it's really special because of the art, I really feel. Especially I think of pieces like Force of Will. Force of Will is such an iconic card, and Therese Nielsen, that's one of many pieces that she's done.
I would love to interview her. Cool. I really would. I got a maybe from her, so
cool.
We'll see.
Awesome.
We'll see.
I'd love to see that, definitely.
We'll see. I'm hoping because I am not entirely sure how that went down anyway in the first place. So I think that she is incredibly talented, and I would there's some questions I'd like to ask. Of course, there's some questions I'd like to ask her, but I don't know if I think that was the time when the MTG Twitter kind of scene was real volatile. I mean, it seemed like until COVID happened and people began to calm down. Prior to it, people were ravenous. They were so ready to attack anybody and everybody, and not necessarily just the Magic scene either. I mean, this was how the internet seemed to be going in general, and Twitter was.
Well, that sounds like Twitter. So
yeah exactly.
Yeah, it's okay. I try not to look at any comments on Twitter. A lot of the YouTube personalities are I have no decisions of what Wizards does, right? Please do not send me these threatening letters.
You always have to marvel at somebody who thinks that I'm going to get something done by threatening a person. It's an amazing that you have to wonder
I just playing the game. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry about that. Can't really help you, but write a letter to your local congressperson.
Yeah. Hopefully they'll do something.
Yeah, they probably will say we don't care, but
exactly.
That's how it'll go. But I think that Therese Nielsen is amazing. Another one I'd love to interview is Rebecca Gay. She is phenomenal, right? I mean, her artwork is. Who do you guys like? Who are some of the other ones that you love? As far as artists go.
Well, I can say right off the bat. Therese Nielsen's easy. I really like John Avon stuff. His lands are really amazing. I have a commander deck that almost exclusively has John Avon lands in it.
Damn.
I really, really like them. It's his full arts from Zendikar. I think I got a couple from when he did not Unhinged, but it was the one after that, Unstable.
Unglued? Unstable, that's right.
Yeah. And I think his full arts are. I don't have any Unhinged ones, unfortunately. Or no, I do have an Unhinged Forest. I forgot. I have one Unhinged Forest.
John Avon, he actually said this in an email. because a lot of the artists I write or interview with, imposter syndrome is a thing they deal with. John Avon actually wrote, "I don't understand why people get so excited over my art," and I didn't know what to. I thought, oh, do you see your artwork? I mean, because
like
it's really wonderful, but
like, I can
it's
remember like when the Zendikar set first came out, I could tell which lands were his. Like his were just so far and away different from the other one. Like because the other like 3 or whatever it was for each one. I was
old
like,
school.
that's Avon and that's the rest, and I want that one.
So what about you?
I really liked Dan Fraser. Like the Moxes and stuff are just really iconic. And
Dan's awesome.
when he did the Secret Lair, where he did the Mox versions of like all the arcane signets or all the signets was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And I also like Jesper Eising. He's got some sweet artwork, and he actually plays Magic a lot too. So
yes.
Cool
that's really cool.
Watch him do that.
I got to interview both of them actually. Dan, Dan does this really cool series of paintings where he did like they're done in the like traditional sort of like the great masterly painting style, but it's photo or like, but it looks like photos, but paintings of like modern day food done in like still life form. They're really cool. It's like popcorn and pizza and like all beautifully lit. Like it's amazing stuff. And yeah, Jesper is a cool guy. I mean, he's also an incredible photographer. I don't know if you know that. Like he he takes pictures of like birds. He's a bird photographer. Like he does he's high speed. Like he actually wins like awards like of photography.
Yeah,
like,
that's hard to do. I mean, especially on such a small, fast target like that. Yeah,
yeah. Lenses
photography is a whole other thing. Like that's something I've dabbled in a little bit. I have a nice camera that I use for this too, that I fool around with, but I'm definitely no professional. That's for sure. Like,
have you ever gotten paid for your photography?
No, oh God, no.
Okay,
maybe someday.
That's my dividing line. I'm like, if you can declare it on your taxes and you can call yourself a professional.
Right.
Yeah, right. Maybe in a couple years we'll see. I don't know, but
hey, you got it. I mean, you can do it. There's no stopping you. It's the only person that can stop you is you, or maybe like like a meteor. But other than that, I mean, who knows? Maybe it's a nice meteor.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
Maybe it says I'll let you take a photo.
I just keep thinking of the Meteorite Magic card. That's falling on you.
That's great. So speaking of which, do you have a favorite card at all?
Favorite card? It's well, like, do you mean favorite mechanically, or do you mean favorite? Because it seems like there's got to be
kind of like a pet card that you want to put in your deck, whether it's good or not. Like,
okay, so I guess I'm just gonna have to go with okay, well, that's tough. Oh God, I gotta pick one. Jeez. All right.
Yes, I don't know.
the Hannaware Township. And Writhing Township, the Writhing Township, and the Hannaware Garrison, I believe, is the flip card. That one just is a nightmare come to life. Vincent Pross was the first artist that I ever interviewed on my channel, but that painting messes with me. It is so horrific what is happening there, and it's one of the main issues that I was kind of bummed by Crimson Vow and Midnight Hunt, because Innistrad used to be a scary place.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't believe that it is as scary anymore. Especially not at a vampire wedding. But that particular one is my favorite. But I will say close second is Succumb to Temptation, because I love the fact that it is the gayest card that I've out of all of the game, and it rings true for me. I have been in my life both that elderly vampire and that young 20-something. So it speaks. It was on point. Winona Nelson just like she nailed it. She knew what she was doing. So it's I have that one in foil because rainbow flag and all that. So there you go.
Oh yeah, of course. Why not?
Mm-hmm. I mean, and
that's why we're stuff like this. Like I totally get it. How about you, Corey? Do you have? I know what your answer is. So
yeah, my favorite card is Kakusho, just because when that was standard legal, I used to play it in the this was before the legend rule changed. And when you played it, then they would both die, and your opponent would lose 10 life, and you'd gain 10 life, and then you just replay them both in the legend rule again, and then you just win the game.
It was
So I
stupid.
won many a Friday Night Magic's playing it. It's like one of the most hated cards in Magic, but I love the artwork
For
and I
good
love playing
reason.
it. And
What's the card called?
it's called Kusho the Evening Star.
Yep.
It's a dragon.
It's from Kamigawa. It's an
Yeah, it's the
older
original
card.
Kamigawa dragon.
Yeah.
Oh shoot, the Evening Star. I must know what this. I feel like I've seen it before.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that's
and
great.
I was just like, it is the essence of what a black deck does, and the color black, and black is my favorite color in Magic. So
Me too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mono
he likes
black.
to make everybody hate him.
yep,
Basically.
model black.
Well, it's okay. Well, like, I think I don't know there, but the thing I did. What's your favorite color then in Magic? Then what is your favorite?
Me, I'm usually more of a green player, or Selesnya. So
Okay, well, at least none of us are played blue. You know what I mean?
we have friends that do that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry
and
about that.
yeah, that's always fun.
Yeah, because
I don't know.
I do play blue when I'm really, really angry and want to just, do something. Then I play blue. But
Want to make
usually
somebody
when I
somebody
wanna play
miserable,
when I have fun, then I play green.
right? I'm with you on that one. I have a deck on Arena that is built for just when I'm feeling particularly bitchy and I just need to get it out. But I will say they did say that, I don't know where I read this, but there was a psychological study that they said that people who play blue are more prone to finding a good time when other people are not having one.
Well, that's what
That
that
is
comes
very
down to.
true.
We had this conversation at a GP one time. We were coming on. Magic in a tournament setting is basically the goal is to steal all the fun. So that's
Right.
what like blue players do, right? Because like if you're having all the
It's
fun,
all
that means
fun away.
you're probably winning. You're playing your cards. You're doing things. Your goal
You're
is to
drawing
just
half
have
your
all the
deck.
fun.
My play group with Commander, we had to have a discussion with a couple of players because I said, listen, I just want to try a group hug deck, but you have to let me try the deck out. You can't just steamroll it before it's over. So we actually do pre-con nights where the only options are, but we also say like, okay, you don't get to play like the Edgar Markov one. I mean, or like if I'm playing the new crappy whatever just came out, don't play Edgar Markov or Atraxa or few years of like really overpowered stuff,
Right.
like Dragon, anything with Eminence, right? People hate
God,
Eminence.
Yeah, the Dragon is nutty. Yeah.
Nasty.
Now,
It's
Edgar
nasty.
Markov was my first deck. That's how I got a guy. His name is Vinny. He said you should learn how to play Magic. I said, do they have vampires in it? He said, yeah. I said, okay. And I went in and I actually bought the Edgar Markov deck like in a store, and it was
okay, cool.
only
Awesome.
it was only $180 back then. Which looking back on it now, I'm like, that's a steal.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
just the commander's like $100.
I know.
Pretty much.
I know. And they're never going to reprint him again because apparently Gavin Verhey hates him. Like he says that that's the biggest regret of his design career is Edgar Markov. And I'm like, really, Gavin? Really? Like, why Edgar? I mean, what about Arcane Signet?
I mean, they made a new one of them. They just didn't make a.
But it's a Judge promo. That's not a reprint.
Right.
Oh well, they did.
Not a
And
real
they
reprint.
made a new version in what was it, Crimson Vow?
Yeah, Edgar Markov the Viagra.
But it was like the weakest vampire in the set, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was
for a rare. It
sad.
was like, okay, so we went from like the best guy to like the not very good.
Yeah. I remember that.
It was such a kick in the balls because
Yeah.
he went from being this vibrant, like terrifying vampire knight to just like doddering and sort of, we're hoping he didn't like soil himself. Like he is, he's getting drugged at his own wedding by Olivia Voldaren, who I will give you this about Olivia. She has remained and is like a insane, evil, horrendous, like villain. She's fantastic, but the rest of
sure.
I mean, but she managed to take over the entire Markov clan while they were all taking naps. She just slipped them all blood. Like they didn't think about that. But I mean, they're the oldest vampire clan. Nobody thought of that. And also, I think about blood petals too. I don't know what they are, and I don't understand it, and I don't like it. I reject it. I reject blood petals, but I digress.
Very fair.
Yeah. So next question: how has magic affected you, like in your life?
Um, it really I can't even begin to put it into like a serious like logical layout of thoughts because so much has happened to me because of magic, and it ties into another question that you had mentioned to me that you're going to be asking, which was what made me want to start the channel. So what made me, I started playing Magic, and the first thing I noticed was the artwork. And I was in love with everything that I was seeing. They were, these fascinating worlds just that you could dive into. And I remember going to the local game store and asking a guy who ran it, I said, are there books about the artwork? And he said, yeah, there's some, but there's not like a lot. And I said, well, what about, there's gotta be a documentary coming out about this, right? I mean, is there a documentary? No, there wasn't one. And I know there is one now, which is, I'm excited about, but I said, well, why isn't anybody interviewing these artists? This is something I want to know. And I happened to be friends with a guy who, he didn't play Magic, but we were hanging out one night and he asked me, he said, you seem like a personality for YouTube. Like, have you ever thought about having a channel? And I said, yeah, I do, but I'm technically like a moron. I can't even, I mean, I barely made it to here tonight. And he runs his own photography studio, and he teamed up with me. Nate is his name, and I'm the creative, he's the technical, and we've been doing it for 2 years now. And just this past at Magic 30 in Vegas, we made it to Magic 30 in Vegas from what the channel had made, and we got a chance to hold the original Black Lotus painting in person.
I saw that, and I was honestly going to comment on that. Like, how did that feel?
I was terrified, to be honest. Holding that thing, it sold for $4 million. So holding it made me very, very nervous. I was wearing a jacket, but if you could see beneath, there was flop sweat like nobody's business. I mean, but you're just
like, please don't drop it. Please don't drop it.
Exactly.
Yeah, and Nate goes, flip it around. And I said to him, I go, what? I can't flip it around. Do you want me to take it outside, like twirl it around like I'm outside of a pawn shop?
Yes, board spinning.
Because it had Christopher Rush's signature on the back, and then they left me with it. Like, everybody started talking and sort of doing this after shoot, and I'm just there holding it. Like, somebody want to take this from me, please? Because
I'm going $4 million piece away from me now.
Yeah, this is a lot of responsibility, a lot of it. But it was surreal to be part of that, and it's getting to know all these artists and these people who have gotten the online content creators too, and just getting to know this community of people has been wonderful, because they are, and as you are testament to, when the Magic community is nice, it's the most wonderful thing in the world. And that's generally what I get from Magic, is the sense of community and camaraderie. And I joke about the Twitter thing, but for the most part, Magic players are people who just want to play Magic and be friends, and the people involved with the game are the best of the best. You can't argue it.
I mean, I remember back when we used to actually really regularly do FNM, which was when it was it was around RTR, that area of time. We would do every FNM, and we would do every pre-release and every release and every two-headed giant, whatever, because we were bored and we were out. We were out of college or whatever at that time, or in college and just bored at home or whatever. And it's just we wanted to do something, and it was fun. It was always a good time, and it was not very expensive. FNM's what, $10?
I mean, I haven't been to it I don't think I think I went to one ever, because the COVID happened.
Right. Yeah, that kind of messed stuff up a little bit.
Yeah, it did. And then I basically moved to an area where there isn't one around, so it's a bummer because I don't have a local one.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
I can't really go to Target and
We're very blessed to have some very nice card shops around us that we're able to do stuff at. So
we'll rub it in, why don't you?
I know. Yeah, even when I was in college, up in Fargo, there's a really, really well-known one called Paradox. Really cool place. I'm assuming they're still there. I hope so. That's
Fargo,
really what we
Dakota.
did. Yeah, Fargo, North Dakota.
Yeah, I live in Minnesota, and so it's one of the crazy hubs for Magic. Like, it's one of the few places from people I've talked to where there's probably 10 to 15 local game stores within like 30 minutes of my house.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
wow.
There's
Minnesota. That's
that's where we're both from. So yeah, we live in
there's
Minneapolis
a huge like Magic community in Minneapolis, St. Paul, and I think they just announced that one of the 3 Magic cons, they're calling it now, is actually going to be in Minneapolis. So.
That's right. That's right. That's where Mike Lindman comes from, Minnesota. So yeah, that's I mean, Minnesota. It's got things. Things going on.
Well, I mean, what else do you want to do in the winter but sit inside and play Magic?
Freezing,
right?
Yes. But
I've never actually seen snow. I've been to places where snow can happen. I've never seen it in person. So because I'm a Florida boy,
we can get it pretty good up here.
Yeah, like Fargo is a
That's where I went to college. So
it made me want to start the channel because I felt that there was documentation that needed to happen. This is a historical game. Yep. These are historical artists. They are, and what Wizards does for artists, whether you're happy, with them or not unhappy with them, and today it seems to be, the people are unhappy with them. The thing that they do for artists is put them on the map, and they really are the closest thing to the way that like somebody would be, sponsoring artists in like the Renaissance. That they really kind of are filling that space, because there's not really a chance to do that anymore. Everybody has, occasionally people have, people who look after them, but it's not done the way it used to be. So it just puts people on the map. It gives them a great chance of success, and it really is the best. So
I mean, just thinking about it, like that's the amazing thing about Magic. It's just like I can name off all these artists like Nielsen, Avon, Frazier, so on. Like in Yu-Gi-Oh, I don't know who the hell did the Blue Eyes White Dragon. I couldn't tell you. I don't know who the hell did the Charizard portrait in Pokemon. Who knows? That's the whole thing. But like Magic, they put their artists in the spotlight, and it's awesome. Like it's so good, and they're so talented. So it's why wouldn't they?
But yes, I agree. You can't tell who. I mean, I've never gotten a chance to play like the Pokemon or the Yu-Gi-Oh. But apologize. But because they don't even I don't think they do analog artwork in a lot of those games, do they? I mean,
I don't think so.
And nothing wrong with digital. It's just there is something that's more tangible, obviously, but there is something about it, the physical artwork. I actually own the original Vampire Token artwork from Vulcan Baga, from the Edgar Markov deck. Oh, it's one of my prized possessions. Like
that's actually one thing that's really cool. Is just even like something as small as just these tokens. They're not even cards. Like they're worth like pennies. They have awesome art. That's just I know that's what's so cool about Magic.
But it's true that painting that Vulcan did of the Vampire Token, there's parts of it that you can't even see in the actual card art. Like there's a bustier of Edgar Markov, and we did a video where you try to capture, but you can't even capture how wonderful it is to see it in person. You see the ridges. I remember when I went to go take it to get it framed in at the Hobby Lobby. The girl who was working there, she looks at it. She goes, "Oh, that's a really cool print." And she goes, "That's not a print. That's not a print." I was like, "No, it's not." "That's a painting." Yes. She goes, "This is the coolest thing we've had in here ever." Like I usually have a bunch of old women wanting to frame paintings of flowers. And it really is that cool.
Still art or something, yeah.
Yeah. It's you can see where every little line was painted. You could see that it was made by hands, and that's the thing that makes it so incredible is the talent that is that is
Yeah.
there in
There's
these
an
people.
ungodly amount of talent in
It's
the
ridiculous.
cards.
It makes me proud of, like, that's their reasons to be proud of being human. You know what I mean? Those accomplishments make you want to say, okay, wow, we got some things right. You know?
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yeah, and even with like the beginning of Magic, they had they used to release a book with every set, like right, and it said the lore or whatever, and then now then they stopped that for a while, and now they're starting to slowly go back to that with like Kamigawa. They did a bunch of pieces online, and the artwork though has been so amazing throughout that they've been releasing books that are just all the art in the set. Like here's all the cool art from the set.
There's even like those like collectibles that you can get in the booster packs that are just little art like pieces.
They retired the planes, but they apparently they stopped they stopped with the books, the ones that were dedicated to the planes, but they're going to do, I think they're moving in a new direction where Jay Anelli, who is the lore master, who I got a chance to interview for my channel, he is basically started out as a fan and just was so obsessed with the lore that he made his way into the actual like company at Wizards, and he's doing a lot of like really cool, more like nerd centric kind of like fun like mashups, like the Planes of the Multiverse, and there's like one coming out in December that looks really cool, where apparently there's going to be like sections about Phyrexia and the whole like process of being completed and whatnot.
Okay.
So I think that's where they're taking things. But I have an NDA with Wizards, but it's only because I represent an artist and because I talked to so many artists on the channel that it was suggested to maybe I suggested it because there've been a couple of times where artists we'd be interviewing and they would go, la 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 blah 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 blah. Oops, I think I just. They're like, you cut that? I'm like, sure, not a problem. Definitely don't want to ruin anybody's livelihood.
Yeah, that's a thing for sure.
Yeah, it's cool. I also like that, recently because we had the Dominaria United and now the Brothers War, and the next few sets is kind of like the whole story of the Phyrexian War, and that's kind of what we used to do with blocks, where we'd have multiple sets all telling the same thing. And it's like, okay, so are we going to go back to that? I hope so, but
yeah,
it's the right direction. I think.
I thought that was a really stupid idea to just not have blocks anymore and just go all willy-nilly about what we're going to do from set to set. So yeah,
it was a little frantic. There was a lot of things that and I don't get me wrong, I want to go back to Ikoria. I don't hate Ikoria. I don't hate Kaldheim. Yeah. It's just there was not enough time spent.
Yeah, to really. I would have liked to know more about like this lore or whatever. Like Kaldheim was awesome. Throne of Eldraine was awesome. All that stuff is really cool.
We're returning to Throne, which is But what's nice though, and what's kind of a bummer about the style guides that I just wish that they could, but I know they can't. The style guides that come with each accompanying plane are, and I've seen a couple are just. Like the amount of dedication of time that has gone into it. There's stories upon backgrounds that we as the audience don't even get to learn about. And it's such a bummer because it's stuff that we would just eat up. But, I understand for propitiatory purposes, you can't really give away, the entire process. Plus it's too expensive. I mean, the amount of, money it would cost to put it out. But it's mind-blowingly cool, like the amount of like research that goes into it, and that they have these things planned out like 6-7 years in advance. And the even right down to the framing of the artwork, which James Arnold is one of the artists that I interviewed. He did all the set symbols from Dominaria up until I think Brothers War is still his. He resigned amicably, but he has moved on to other endeavors. But even the set symbols, I just love them. Like they're so just on.
Yeah, like I like one that I thought was really cool. Like some of like the really old ones. Like we're going like back here. Like the Torment one I thought was really cool.
That was a cool one.
The Judgment one was really cool. Like with the scales. Like there was like I love those old set symbols. They're just so cool. And they're just so iconic. I see it. I'm like I know what that set is. It's just really easy.
And James was a disciple of those. Like he used to write articles for I think Cool Stuff Inc. about the set symbols. Like it's amazing that the game has taken in people who are just fans of the game and then kind of made them into the actual process of it. But there are plenty of people who I've interviewed who have never played Magic, who are artists involved with it. I don't think it's necessary that you have to play it to be a great Magic artist, but it certainly helps. Because
sure.
I was talking to one of the senior art directors, Ovidio Cartagena, who actually it blew my mind. I never even thought of this. He said that there are times as an art director, you have to think differently, and you have to figure out how are you going to show in a painting that something has death touch, like in the elements of like what you would do, like you put a blade or you do like a certain type of style of way they look. And I thought, oh wow, that's pretty cool. Like. Never really thought about that, like having to put the mechanical elements into the artwork. As an art director, it's pretty cool.
Or even like the colors, like black cards tend to be obviously more black, white cards tend to be more bright,
but it's interesting though. Sometimes, have you ever like tried it? Like, have you ever like take like your favorite like red card and place it in a blue frame and just switch the colors just to see what happens? The framing, it changes the entire feel of it. Because there's been some red cards that there's been some blue cards that have red cards that have blue around them in the framings. But if you take the artwork out, you'd think, oh, that's just a red card because it's orange. Very vibrant, and then when it's in a blue card, it's something else.
Yeah, it's cool. It's just like the viewpoint of like the frame and everything, like how it changes everything for sure. And then even the foiling too. Like if you get like different like foilings, that can really change the art as well.
How do we feel about the foiling lately? How are we? What are our thoughts?
I like the old school foiling personally. I've always been a fan of it. The new stuff, I think it's just a little gaudy in my opinion.
You think it's gaudy? You think it's a little trashy?
It's not great. They warp way too easily.
Well, that's the other thing. Yeah.
Okay, so am I the only person that has? Because I guess I'm OCD with my cards, but when I get a foil card, like I immediately sleeve it. And I found that if you do that, they don't curl. Like if you could stop the curling. Yeah. It's if you leave them untouched, they will pringle up. But if you keep them in a card like a sleeve,
it depends. Some of them that I have done that, and they do stay more flat, but they still will curl a little bit sometimes. The older ones for sure will never. They can just stay flat forever. But the new foiling is just like not the greatest. But I feel like most people, they're like, if the foil isn't worth something, they just leave it sit out, right? Like if it's like a 25-cent foil card, they're like, whatever.
I can't do that. I'm too anal retentive. I just have to sleeve it if it's foil. I mean, because there's part of me is, you never know. It could be worth something.
Oh, I know. And there's been some weird cards that have all of a sudden been worth something for absolutely no reason. So you really don't know. You really don't.
Yeah, there's been times where I check like MTG Goldfish and I'm like, it's worth that much?
Yeah. Corey does it all the time. He's like, oh yeah, this is up like $20. I'm like, why? What happened?
It's always a new card that comes out that combos with it. It's usually
that's usually why. Yeah. So
like
it's a sideboard now for some
reason. And then
you
get the people that want to make their whole deck fancy and foil, and that's why the foils go up then.
That's like my old friend John would do that all the time. He was such a foil whore.
Foil whore, that's a good one. I remember I do have like very good luck with cracking packs, and so far in my life I've cracked 4 foil Force Negations from the original Modern Horizons, and this was back in the time where like now it's not worth as much, but back then it was like $300 for that.
Right.
And, I opened one pack. I cracked a pack where it had the regular and the foil in it, and people at the game store were, oh. I had such good luck that people at the time would ask me to like rub their like card packs. I shit you not, like they would.
That's
I,
amazing.
I'm very lucky with it. But it becomes a little bit of an issue because I'll just buy a lot.
Yeah.
Don't like
Oh
to do
yeah,
that.
that's what it turns into. 100%.
My one buddy's like that, where he doesn't necessarily have luck of the opening the value cards, but the card he wants out of the set, he'll open in the pack every time.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah,
oh, I
it's-
wanted that. Perfect.
Yeah,
He's like, oh, I just need the one artifact from this. And he buys like 5 packs. Oh, I got that artifact. What?
That's exactly why I made that deal with Satan before I was born, and
Yeah, exactly.
he
But yeah,
delivers.
I personally love like the old school like around Odyssey and whatnot, where it had like the star, like
Oh, yeah,
shooting
the-
star.
But they brought that back, I think, didn't they? They've been, at least I thought they've
I
brought
don't
it back for.
think
They brought
the
it
well, I
back
retro-
for
think
some
it's
of the
30th
yeah,
for
the
30th edition.
retros and the Magic.
They have the
30
old foilings and
promos.
whatnot.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that foiling. I think it looks really cool, and it's also very tasteful, which is also good.
Very
What
taste.
is-
I love it. I love how you're like, my nostalgia is tasteful.
The worst, in my opinion, are the from the vault ones that have like the foil like down the center. You know what I'm talking about, right, Corey?
Those were kind of like
I don't like those.
they're very thick. If that's very
They
thick.
just look fake almost.
It's like sort of the like a horizontal kind of rainbow.
Yeah, I
lining.
think that rainbow effect on it, which
Yeah, but not
it's
the
almost
like
the point where you can't even see the card like that you're playing.
right. It looks like you're playing with like a shiny metal object.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Of
pretty much.
the new foiling they started doing, the etched foils they did with Commander Legends, I think are cool.
The problem with the new things is they have like new ones that they come out with every kind of set, and I don't know which is which. And there was one that they did for the I think it was Dominaria United, where it was like a treatment of the their stained glass like prints. It was different than the other. It was super glossy. It looked like glass. It was very cool.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it's actually called, and I can't seem to. There's not like a number you can call and be like, what
Right.
kind of foil is this?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, because no one knows.
And they
It's,
just call it different thing, like this is etched and this is like stained whatever foil, and it's like okay, well,
Stained
Yeah.
glass ones are cool from what I've seen.
the Infinity ones were pretty. The Galaxy foils, they
Yeah.
actually turned out
Oh,
very,
yeah.
very nice.
I didn't really, I didn't really look at Infinity that much personally, but I know the unsets are usually really cool looking. So
Yeah, it's like
I can see that.
dusted with like fairy dust and
Yeah.
like sparkling. Maggie, honey, she's 17 and blind, so my God, I'm gonna just go get her out of her little trap.
Oh no!
We're just keeping her on my lap for the rest of the interview.
Hey,
So
there you
I'm
go.
just-
Now you have a pet.
I'm really sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm like Dr. Evil with my little.
Yeah, it was Mr. Bigglesworth.
I'll catch her. She won't get caught up because it's such a disaster. It's like there's stuff everywhere, and it's not good for a blind gal. She's
Yeah.
just everything is moved around, and it's not. You don't do that to blind things. You don't move around furniture, and it's not nice. It is
right.
not nice. But
I feel that.
the Foil Galaxy stuff was very cool. So who knows?
Definitely.
I'm excited about Phyrexia. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure they're going to do something cool with the foiling for that. It's I'm interested to see. I think they're going, at least I know that they're going back to what I feel is a little more of a horror like slant. The artwork for Brothers War has a lot more like actual like scary in it, as opposed to the knife in the heart that was Crimson Vow. Oh, it was such a knife. The trailer was so fantastic. It had such potential. Like the Vampire Wedding had potential. It really
Yeah.
did.
Oh, it was a cool like idea and like with lore and everything. So
I think the werewolves one was better than the vampire.
Oh,
one.
absolutely. I think so too. It is
artwork wise, anyway. The like draft, I think Crimson Vow was better, but
yeah,
from a draft
it's like,
perspective.
I mean both of those draft was kind of like It is bad when you have a vampire set and a werewolf set and standard Sol. None of them rise to the top. It's
Yeah, the werewolf set and the werewolves was the worst deck, and then the vampire set, the werewolves was the best deck.
Yeah, it's just like, okay.
and the blue black zombies was the best in both. Like,
Oh
they were
God,
both.
the blue black zombies. Can't call them Demir zombies, but I will call them Demir zombies.
Yeah,
I don't care if we're not on Ravnica. It's convenient. I don't know the triumphs, and I never will. I try, and
I
I
always
just
forget. But they keep changing them. Like they
Oh, I know.
changed them with the schools too for.
Oh yeah, the it's for Strixhaven.
Yeah,
Like,
and then
God,
they changed the 3-color for the streets of New Capenna, and I was like, yeah, I'm not
those I actually
Like,
think I might be better with.
I'm sorry, it will always be Bant or Naya or
Yeah.
Esper. Shut up, don't change it. God
Esper
damn
works.
it.
But I managed to get. I was able to stick with the Streets of New Capenna ones better. I think because the gang names. I don't know why. Like the triumphs was too
right.
esoteric.
Yeah.
Zagath Triome. I'm like, this isn't even the language that I understand.
Right.
Like,
Oh, I know. Although I will say, Jund is almost a dirty word though because of what it was in Alara. So it's almost hard to use that as a classification now because I was like, ew, Jund, gross. Who plays that?
Because you could do some evil stuff with Grixis.
Grixis was nasty. Like
you got the red, blue, black. Oh, people could get out some major hate.
Yeah, it's like you're blue, so you take away all the fun, and then you're red, which means you deal all the damage, and then you're black, which means you kill everything. So yeah, you just really hate everybody when you play Grixis.
Yeah, Grixis is just somebody's had a bad day.
that's when you had a bad day.
Yeah, Grixis is for bad days, and then mono white is for good. No, I'm just kidding. Like my healing, but mono white, poor mono white. It's finally getting its
it's getting. God, in the last couple of set reviews that we've done, like white has been very strong. So it's gonna be fun to see.
Slowly getting some white card draw in there. So
course corrected.
That's what it's been lacking.
Yeah, exactly. But they've been putting them in there. They're tossing them in, at least in standard. You know, there's ways to that one angel in New Capenna that enters the field to get. I think you get 2 life and draw a card. Oh, that one's good when you're playing some Wars Off Angels. I know it's not enough, but I'm gonna say it anyway.
That's what I call it too. So whatever.
Yes.
So since you are, I guess, relatively new, you have any thing that you've learned and any tips that you give to any new Magic players or just joining the game?
Well, for me, I would say because I have calcula. Like math has been a disaster for me my entire life. It really sucks. Like so Magic has actually helped me with being able to do like simple math in a quicker way. So I would say if anybody is intimidated by like the math aspect of Magic, just stick it through because it actually has made me better at it than I was before. I'm still terrible. But
I totally agree. I am the same exact way, and yeah, it has helped me as well.
That's the most amazing part. But even this one time I was playing Magic with a girl who suffers from schizophrenia, and this was at a time when she was off her meds, and it was like got serious all of a sudden. But she was off her meds, and she's on them now. She's doing great. But when I was teaching her Magic, and she said to me, when I'm playing this, the voices stop. And I was blown away by that being said. Like that was a very real moment, and that really kind of speaks to the power that Magic can have. Is that if it actually is able to make somebody who's suffering, from like schizophrenia to have a moment of peace, that's not something that I don't think that every game can claim. I don't believe Twister.
Yeah, probably not. That's amazing. Actually, that's really cool.
It was. Sure. I was flabbergasted when I was just like, wow.
Yeah.
That's something else. It was, and we still play to this day. So
that's great. That's really good to hear. And yeah, I know Magic can be very, very intimidating to new players. We do have a couple videos on our channel with a couple people that are supposed to kind of help newer players understand the game. But it is a little, it's easy to understand, but very very hard to master. So
Yeah, and if you get the
just gotta
wrong
stick with
person
it.
to teach you, like I was very lucky in a sense that this guy Vinny was just like a preternaturally patient with like I think like I mean honestly I think he was just looking for new people to add to the play group and was just like willing to do that. But in any case, extraordinarily patient and was able to teach it to me. And then I watched like 10 games played. Like I kind of stood over people's shoulders and just like watched games. The first game I ever played, I actually managed to pull off the Exquisite Blood Sanguine Bond combo.
Ah, yes,
And
classic.
I didn't realize what I had done. And everybody around me started screaming and yelling. Like there was an eruption of like, "Oh my God!" And I went, "What? You won!" I was
like, a one?
"How? You just did an infinite combo."
Like what's that? What's that?
I did.
I can't remember the first time I pulled off a combo. Completely on accident too. Like I wasn't even trying.
That's the best, right?
It was just literally just happened to be in my deck. It was some janky, shitty deck I was playing, like when I was in like high school.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't even trying. But it's like, oh yeah, that's a thing. It's like, oh, okay.
It was amazing. I won my first Commander game with like such like aplomb, and then I think I lost the next like 12, 13 games.
That's how it goes.
Yeah, exactly. Beginner's luck, and then it's over.
For sure.
Yeah, also, if you're looking to learn Magic, Arena is a great place with the tutorials they have. Yeah. And if you have a local game store, I know in January they're doing you get a free welcome deck again, and the game stores will teach you how to play Magic.
Yep.
There's been times where I've learned that a card that I've been playing wrong for years.
Oh, yeah.
Arena.
Yeah. Oh,
that happens a lot, honestly.
It's mind-blowing. I go, oh, we've all been playing this wrong. Because when you have a play group and everybody adapts sort of what they think the way the card is, and you sort of...
and it's like, oh, we didn't actually read the card.
The Cascade...
RTFC, man. RTFC. Yeah.
The Cascade was really tricky for me because I figured when you Cascade, that the first time you Cascade forever. But apparently not. I still don't understand it to this day. I'm like...
Cascade's a little weird, definitely. It's a
like
weird mechanic.
How come my first sliver can't make more Cascades? It's only one? Like, I don't think that's right. Cascade should be Cascade, but apparently no. That's not how it goes. So I won a lot of sliver Commander games legally.
That's always fun. So do you have any tips for anyone who is thinking of perhaps being a content creator, like on YouTube or Twitch?
I'd say absolutely love what you're doing. Like, make sure you love it. Make sure that it's something that if you're not doing the channel, you're going to be yakking your friends' ears off about, because that is going to be the thing to keep you going. It's not fulfilling if you get into it for anything other than your own enjoyment. So if you really enjoy it, don't worry about the competition and write other content creators. There are many successful content creators who are looking to collaborate and to offer their success. And I think that especially with shout out to Brazil. I have not seen a Magic community more open and accepting of just working with people than the Brazilian content creators. There's such a level of just camaraderie that is there, that it's not like that as much in the US or the UK. There's a little bit more of people maybe being a little like on the lookout for their quote unquote brand and not realizing that if you have a brand, it's not going to be affected if you collaborate with somebody who is not like perfect or whatnot. So it can be a little cliquish, but there have been some wonderful American people who have given me a chance. Like I spoke to Sam from Mystic Studies very early on, Ryan Gomez, the Nitpicking Nerds, like those boys. And I swear I saw them. I knew they were going to be big. Like I interviewed them when they were 8,000 and now they're close to 100,000 followers. And it's a testament really to me and my ability to, yes, it has nothing to do with them. And Joe and Beezy, if you're listening, it's me. I did it. I did all the work, but you get to think. But I do a podcast with Joe and Beezy, and it's the Magic Morons is the name of the show, and we just get together
awesome.
and we talk, and you guys should come on Magic Morons sometimes. As long as you're cool with being moronic, we are there
all the time.
That sounds really fun. Yeah, I'm a total dork, so it's okay.
Oh, a dork and a nerd. Was that a Dird or a Nork? I don't know. I think I like Nork better, right? Because Dird sounds a little too much like turd.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Nork sounds
good. Yeah.
That's something that I learned too. Is like because I started streaming on Twitch, and I was more like all about well, I'm just going to make a bunch of money from this. I'm going to do that. I want to be like famous, right? And then that kind of blew up in my face because it doesn't work out that way, right? Obviously,
it really doesn't. No.
I pivoted to just doing a Magic podcast, and it's like, okay, well, Magic, I can talk for hours, no matter what, whether I'm making money or not.
Literally.
I don't care. I do it for fun with my
I
friends.
literally get texts from him every day at work about, oh, there's this new thing coming out. And it's like, oh, there's new spoilers. I'm like, oh my God, Corey, I'm working.
Every single day, I'll text people.
That's but there you go. That's if you love it, then it eventually will pay. I believe the work pays off, but as long as you have love for it, right? That's the only thing I think that matters. Is if you don't have that authenticity, people will smell it on you. And
definitely
that would be my advice. Just love what you do, and don't be afraid that if other people are doing it, don't think that there is just that you have to stop because somebody else is doing it. Because I know this was actually pointed out to me by Daquan Watson when we did an episode of Magic Morons, and he really brought up a good point. Is that we had the same idea about an episode, and we both thought of it independently. And I said, well, I don't want to do it if you'd mentioned it first. He said, oh well, no, go ahead and do it. I think it's better. And then I thought about it, and it's true. Like if you ever watch an episode of anything on YouTube, and then they have a suggestion of a video that's about the exact same thing, you're going to be watching that one too, because that's how we are.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. I'm doing this, and I'm like, okay, well, Command Zone is the huge one, right? They do, they do reviews every set, right? And then, limited resources that do the draft thing all the time. I'm like, well, you know what? I'm still going to do my set review, put my 2 cents in. Could be different from what they think. So
it's your opinions, it's your ideas, Everyone wants to hear different viewpoints.
Literally ran into Josh Lee Kwai walking in Vegas. It was pretty crazy.
That's really cool.
We ended up at the same. It was me, Joe Beezy. We were yakking, and I was telling a story about randomly running into famous people that I randomly actually followed John Travolta on a red carpet by pretending to be part of his posse because my ticket to the event was inside with my editor. So I was dressed in a suit and I was on my cell phone yelling at my editor. I'm like, "Don't hang up! Don't hang up! I'm just going to follow John Travolta's people into the stadium." So I did that, and as I'm telling the story, Josh Lee, you hear nitpicking nerds, and we look up. There's Josh Lee Kwai. It was something else. I got to experience it. We walked down the street with him. He's a very cool guy, very very chill, very like this in real life, very calm, speaking. And so he's like, I'm just thinking about maybe going shoot some craps later or something. And then we parted ways at the pizza place, and I turned around to Joe Beezy. I was like, that just happened? That just happened. He was aware of their work and said, keep on, doing what you're doing. And it was I said, do you feel like you're A-list now? And because I've always teased him, I'm like, you guys are A-listers now. Joe's like, no, we're more like B. And I said, not anymore. Not if Josh Lee Kwai knows who you are. Not if Josh Lee Kwai gives you props in the streets of Vegas. So
yeah, for sure. That is amazing. That's a great story. I love it.
There was a lot of that. And that was the one thing about Vegas that was fun was the experience of it. It was wonderful. I know that the event itself, people complained a lot, but other than the Command Zone debacle that happened at the very beginning where they weren't allowing free play, which they fixed the next day, I had a lot of fun. I mean,
that's good. That's what matters. For sure.
Yeah, fun's all that matters, right?
Yeah.
So
have fun.
Oh yeah,
that's the whole point we do this.
Fun is important. If you're not having fun, then
then why are you playing?
Yeah, right.
Find a new play group.
Right. One time I played against a Memnarch deck that had me so angry that I did not play Magic for a full month because of the torture that it was. So there have been times where I have to like excuse myself from
Right.
the when you find yourself getting a little too angry.
Yeah,
eh,
me personally, I don't really. I'm just like whatever. Like, so like if I'm getting destroyed by that, I'm like, okay, hurry up and win. Let's go to the next game.
The only times I've actually gotten annoyed was usually playing against a blue deck.
it was a Memnarch, and when Memnarch stole my Edgar Markov, and it was like 2.5, 3 hour game, and it was the game
Yeah, that's how that goes.
that we get to play once a week, and I begged you not to make this deck. I begged you not to make it, and you said you weren't going to, and then you did, and then it went off in all the ways you wanted it to, and we just sat here and watched you play solitaire for 3 hours.
Yeah, at that point, like even my play group, when we know that someone's got it under control, and we're like, okay, you win next game.
Like, yeah, we
you know.
don't usually play it through because like we don't need to sit here and watch you jerk off for 3 hours.
Yeah.
Because we can't
was
do
Like,
anything.
or someone does the stupid, okay, I got 6 turns. Okay, you win. You're going to win. in 6
Okay,
turns.
that's
Like,
good. 6
like,
turns. That's
okay. Lovely.
Yes, you know that's one of the 7 deadly sins, right? There's greed. But yeah, so that Memnarch, I didn't play for a month. I was very angry.
No.
And to this day, when I see Memnarch, I just shudder.
You're just like, kill it on sight. Where's my kill spell?
Yeah,
Dead.
it's like you just grab that like spray of the rage.
We play Damnation for this one card.
I mean, I would exile. I'd kill on sight. Who are some of your kill on sights? Obviously, Turgid is a kill on sight, right? And Crick, you got to kill Crick, right?
Yeah.
Immediately. Who are some other ones that you guys?
I'm trying to
Veto, because it's like a mini Sanguine bond combo right there.
True, but Vito though he takes a little time to rev up though.
Yeah, he takes some setup, but I like to, especially when they played as a commander, I'll just keep removing it. Be like, eventually you're not going to be able to play it.
Yeah, it's too expensive.
Because I figure, well, I can sit there and wait for you to play the combo piece and hope I have an answer then, or I could just keep answering Veto.
Yeah, Vito. Yeah, you want to definitely take him out if you see him in standard, or well, he's not in standard. No, he used to be in standard like 3,000 years ago. COVID brain. But he is in historic, and there's been some times where I've vetoed off myself a couple of times. I want to know more about Vito. What's up with him? What's his story? Like, it's interesting. Maybe we'll learn more about him in the upcoming exile.
Yeah, that'd be kind of interesting. For sure.
He seems like he's the thorn of the Dusk Rose. Like what does that mean? Like he's an enemy of Valinda. I want to know more. So yes, these are the things that keep me from having a social life.
Hey, you just socialize with Magic players,
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Interwebs on Reddit.
Ever wondered like what's going on with Vito? No. Okay.
People are just like, no.
Or like Vito,
talking
like
about?
Vito Morganson? I'm like, no, Vito, the Thorn of the Dusk Rose.
Oh, well, I think we are at about our time here.
All right.
This has been amazing talking with you.
I appreciate it. I'm sorry again for all the.
No, that's okay.
We'll edit it out. You won't even notice it.
I'll notice it. I will be like, that's where my nightmare, because it's permanently just singed with embarrassment and shame. I'm going to flog myself, just to get out the kinks afterwards. So just my dogs will be staring at me. It's like flagellate.
So where can people reach you?
People can reach me. You can go to for the easiest, you can go to Concepts and Legends. It's all one word .com. But you can find me on YouTube at Concepts and Legends. I believe if you just do @Concepts and Legends, all one word, that's the way to get there. Otherwise, you'd have to go to it's like YFVFR, and I never memorized it. I never will. But yeah, Concepts and Legends is where you can find me. And we do all the stuff on the channel, the different types of shows that we do as far as the podcast. You can also find me on the dumpster fire that is Twitter.
If you want to.
I'm still there. I'm still there. I also am on
somehow.
I'm also very old, so I'm on Facebook as well. You can I'm at Alper Markov. And I'm on the Instagram too, although I'm lazy with the Instagram because it's just I do art interviews, so what am I gonna post on Insta? But I'm on there too as Alper Markov. All
Awesome.
one word.
That's kind of me too. It's like I don't really post anything on Instagram because it's like, it's like a video file. Like,
It's a pain in the hole to do
I
all
don't
that.
have any pictures.
I'm like, I'll post artwork, like if a new card image comes out or something. But
Yes. I'm just social media. It is tricky because it's a necessary evil. But how many platforms am I gonna have to post?
Yeah, it's a thing, isn't it?
I see people's link trees and I go, I didn't even know those things existed.
Oh, I know.
Like, what is this? What's this OnlyFans everyone's been talking about?
It's like,
maybe I'll start that. Magic the Gathering.
It's just you holding cards.
Me holding.
Like, oh yes,
Just
look at these sexy
videos of you
cards.
opening packs.
Oh, such a good card. Oh, so you see the foiling on this? Oh, it was like that. What is it? ASMR? Like that.
Oh,
where
yeah,
people
ASMR.
that stuff makes my flesh crawl. Like to Venus the back makes my flesh crawl. I do not understand how people find that pleasant. I hear it. I'm like, I don't hear somebody eat food into my ear.
Oh my god, eating food is the worst.
It's the worst.
oh
I'm
my
like,
gosh.
God, why don't you have somebody have a friggin' sinus infection in my ear too? Is that loud? I don't want to hear the smacking of the human body in my ear if it's not my own. Thank you. But that's another thing. So, yes, that's where you can find me, but not on OnlyFans.
Yes. Not yet, at least. No.
Become a little desperate, maybe, but
Hey.
maybe after I go, like a couple of facelifts or something, maybe feel a little fresh.
Once Twitter actually implodes and
Right.
dies
Well,
a fiery death.
well, Elon's out there with his like just diarrhea gun, just doing his best, showing everybody he's not insane.
Dirging through the
Mhm.
crap. Yeah.
He's like, I have opinions. I'm like, do you have a job? Doesn't seem you do. Seems like you're on Twitter all day saying nonsense. But then again,
Yeah. I wish I could,
kettle, black. So
wish I could do that and have like $300 billion or whatever the hell it is. Like,
I know, but
Jesus
then you'd have to
Christ.
be Elon Musk. And
Yeah. Nah,
those eyes do not say that is somebody who is just got those crazy eyes. They're a little out there. We should try to find Elon and be like, do you need to play Magic? I think you should play Magic, Elon. I feel like you'd be really good at Magic, and I think he would be. I would be surprised if he did play Magic. I think he probably would. But
he has the mind for it for sure.
he does. He should
100%.
friends need to go to him and be like, this is what we need to get you into. Play Magic. You could buy a Black Lotus. You could buy all of them.
Yeah, literally all of them.
Well, I was surprised when I found out Post Malone played Magic.
I mean,
That's kinda cool,
I guess so. But then seeing the way that he is, it's like, okay, he is just like he's a sweet nerdy guy.
Before you've seen any of the interviews with them or any of that, but it's just like, oh, Post Malone bought a Magic card. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
And then he starts, being more involved. You're like, oh yeah, he's just a super nerd.
It's true that you don't see a lot of nerds with face tattoos. So I think that's the thing that threw me off. Because I'm too old for his music. Because I never really heard his music. I just saw the face tattoos, and I thought, well, okay, that's somebody who clearly doesn't ever want to work a 9 to 5. So, and that was my thoughts. But then as I got to know his personality, I'm like, oh, that's what a sweetheart. And I think, okay, maybe I just don't know what the young people are doing. Maybe a face tattoo is the new ankle tattoo. I don't know anything. I mean, I'm about as in touch as something that's not in touch. So
I mean, when he did that album with Ozzy, that was kind of cool. It's like, oh, okay, Post Malone's kind of cool, I guess.
Yeah, well, he does seem like he's very cool. I mean, I haven't really heard any of his music, but I've heard people that I respect say good things about it. So, yeah. I mean, I'm assuming that he's successful for a reason. He's a very good Magic player for sure. I mean, he definitely knows his shit.
Yep.
That's what it all comes down to, right?
Mm-hmm. Knowing your shit and starting an OnlyFans. That's my advice. Everybody.
Perfect.
That's life advice, I think. That's outside of Magic the Gathering. It's just that's what I go with.
And that's all we gotta. That's all we gotta take away from this, right?
Absolutely. I want it on my gravestone.
Your epitaph. Yes.
My epitaph. my yes. I was like, I was about to say my penultimate statement, just because I love when people say penultimate. Like you just say the right before the end of the sentence, the second before the last thing, you have to say penultimate. My penultimate epigraph. That's what I'll do, and then I'll do my real one after. Have a follow-up gravestone.
Yes. You're right next to the other one, so it's
a bit smaller, like surprise.
Well, it has been an absolute blast to have you on here.
Thank you so much. We've had a lot of fun, and you guys are definitely going to be doing an episode of Magic Morons coming up. It's you've been locked and loaded. It's
awesome.
happening.
Well, I'm down.
Definitely let us know, man. We will. Yeah, I'm up for it.
Love to have you.
Oh, I'm gonna let you know. You'll be knowing. Don't worry, you won't get anything in the mail that is biodegradable. It'll just be a nice email.
It'll be in the box on top of the poop, right?
That would be such a mixed message to send to somebody. Like, invite them on your podcast with a shit express thing. Again, not sponsored. That would be so messed up.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Oh man, that would get some clicks. I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about this.
Just a couple, yeah.
That's what the they're going to steal our idea now, and they're going to put that in the shit grams. It's going to be a nice shit gram versus just a nasty shit.
Yeah, like polished turd.
Yeah,
polished. Yeah.
It's for people that you just find mediocre annoying.
Or like you either send it to people who you truly hate or people you just are like enamored with, like your idols. Please come on my podcast. I'm very confused about how to interact with you.
Beautiful.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much again.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
This is really fun. Yeah, we will definitely join you there. Yeah, be sure to follow him on his YouTube and
on my YouTube.
Other locations. Yeah, his videos are really cool.
Thank you.
Definitely watch the Black Lotus one. That one was really fun to watch.
That was yep. See if you can see the flop sweat.
Yeah,
it's there.
I definitely recommend that. That was a good time. Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Thank you again for having me. It's been great, and thank you for tolerating Miss Maggie's little.
Oh,
it's a Miss Maggie,
such a baby.
Yeah, 17 years old.
So
thank you again.
Yep.